Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Gang Rush Breakout. Let's check it out. Setup for the game is not that hard. What you're going to be doing is just putting these little cardboard pieces together, kind of lift the little road up to make it look like a bridge. It's really cool. It has these little braces underneath each thing, but it's fairly sturdy, and it doesn't mean anything for the game, but it is kind of fun to look at. Each player is going to pick a disc of a character and then turn it over, and as you see, we have a little speedometer here. It will start at 0. Over in the corner, they each have their own special ability here, and the rule book will tell you what those special abilities are. You do want to make sure, let's say on the red one, you do want to make sure everything here is green. You can twist it to show damage, and when you do, it turns red. And as I twist it more and more things turn red. Neat little thing there. Anyway, you're going to get the corresponding color car here. These cars are great models, very thick and dense and everything. So just a lot of fun, very pretty. And then in player order, you'll place them here on the board, and anywhere on the board it'll tell you exactly how much money you get. So being in the middle and up front gives you the most money. Being on some of the corners over here gives you the least money, but it's the most advantageous when you're starting the game with, because whoever goes first is the person who is in the lead, and then after that whoever has the most money if it's a tie. And what you're trying to get is to one end of the bridge to the other, and the whole time you are fighting one another to get in there. So you have your starting money. Starting money comes in nasty little paper money. I mean, this is just, I'm going to bend this just by picking it up, and see I've already bent it. So it's cheap little paper money. Everyone hates this, and yes, it is bad. You know, terrible, but it's really tiny and hard to pick up. So it comes in 100s, 500s, thousands, and negative bills, -1 and 500, because sometimes you have to take a loan, because you may lose some money. Everyone starts with a ramp. I'll get to what this does, although you can probably tell what this does. This is worth some money at the end of the game if you do not use it. However, don't worry, everyone's going to use their ramp in this game. You're going to have a stack of these that you're going to shuffle and put out. These are the hazards. You'll deal out 5 every round. And then these are some of the extra special ability tokens. You'll deal out 5 every round. I didn't put them all out here, but they're the gray backs here. Now I'll get to what, and actually the rule book tells you what each one of these little icons do. After playing it a few times, you basically know. You can basically just read it. But anyway, you do need the rule book for the first time. All right, so how this works is basically like Yahtzee. You'll be rolling these die 3 times, up to 3 times, if you want to, any and all die. The only die roll that you can't roll is this. That is an injury there. So if I rolled all that, I could say, ooh, look at this. Guns let me shoot someone, and they have to be in front of me, unless I'm someone like this car who has this little gun turret, and he can shoot in any direction around him, but they can be 1 space away. This repairs your car, or if you were to get one of these damaged cars, this would repair it, so you wouldn't have to take a damage. If you did get a damage, you couldn't re-roll that. You would just have to take 1 damage on your meter here. Now, once you've sustained enough damage, let's say you didn't get anything repaired, and you start off like that, you would spin out, and actually your car, let me get red here, your car would start backwards. Now there is a way to turn it around, and those are steering wheels. If you have 2 steering wheels, you can turn it back around. 2 steering wheels also allow you to shift from one lane to the next, which you're going to be doing a lot because there's a lot of obstacles that will be in your way. And this one here lets you go up or down 1 on the speedometer. Now, why would you want to go down? Well, there are some reasons. So for as slow as you're going, you have a lot of wheels to be turning. The faster you go, the less wheels you have. So I have 4 wheels. So I can take 2 shifts while going 1 space. And there's other cars that can make you go fast. But anyway, I can go in at 20 miles per hour. I have 3 wheels. I have 1 wheel if I'm going 40. So I have to roll at least 1 wheel to get a turn in. 5, you're kind of out of control. You better hope you get some wheels there. That's basically what you're doing. Now, before you roll the die, I forgot to mention, you're placing out and selecting these hazards, and everyone is going around in order and placing one out. These do multiple things. This one, when you place it down, the only rule is you can't have if there were two of the same, you couldn't place them next to each other on the board. But if you place it, you can place it anywhere within zone 1 here, and then zone 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are going to be everywhere. This basically states that if anyone goes past 30 miles an hour, they're going to hit this pothole and they're going to take a damage. This one are spikes. These could be 2, 3, and 4. And what happens if you run over the spikes, you go down 10 miles per spike. So this would knock your speed down to by about 20 miles an hour. Policemen come in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they could be shooting one direction or do two directions like this one is. You put these up and you're going to take a damage every time. And they have unlimited range. Now, there are things that can block shots like a ramp, or what I'm about to get to, one of these one of these storage bins here can block them. Also, when you're running over policemen, if you ever run over this tile during your turn, you can shift it to the left or to the right. You can kind of move them away so they won't be shooting back at you. But if you have two shooting at you here, I would sustain 2 damage every turn that I'm on that lane, so it makes you want to get out of the way. The next one are barricades. These come in 1, 2s, and 3s. And when you have this out, you can pass out some of these cool little cardboard barricades. Basically, barricades, you can shoot a barricade and get it out of the way, but barricades would stop your movement. So you usually want to go around it unless you can shoot right through it. And if you plow right through it, of course, it's going to be a damage there. This one here is a storage bin. What you would do is not use this tile. You would use this nice 3D board here. You cannot barrel through these bins. You have to move around them. Crashing into them would give you a damage point. So moving around them is best. You can also jump over them. You can jump over anything using the ramp, which I'll get to in a minute. Now, if ever you do get damage, like from shots, from barricades, from running into barriers, or just other players moving you. Let's say this player can move 2 spaces. They would go 1, instead of going 2, they just bump this car. Now both cars would receive a damage, and this car would move up 1. Okay, now if it smashed into something else, it would also take a second damage. So you could have a traffic jam here, like if it smashed into this. So it would get 1 damage, this would get 1 damage, move forward and get another damage into that. So you can really bang that middle car up. If you want to move it from the side, you can ram it and move it over, and it will sustain a damage. If it goes into one of these little iron beams here, or in the bridge there, it will sustain another damage. If you were to, like I want to move over and it slam into that one. Or if I was here, I could slam it, it would lose $100 there and fall off. It would have to pay $500 to get out of the water and get a tow truck to bring it back onto the bridge. That's why you may need some of these, and I just bent that dollar too, but you're negative $500 because you may have to save yourself by getting out of the bridge. Now, whenever you get damage like that, you drop these $100 bills. And so that's why they're flat, so you can have as many as you can, and cars can run over them, but it's kind of stupid. Anyway, but there would be $100 bills just laying anywhere. Now, when you start your turn, you may not pick up any $100 bills you left behind, but you can pick up anyone else's ahead of you. So this game behooves you to be last sometimes, because you can start swerving around and picking up all these extra money just flying around from everyone else banging into each other. But that's kind of neat. All right. So, and of course, a shot, if someone shoots you, then you'll also get a damage and lose $100. Now, of course, these things can help fix your damage on your turn, which are very nice. How do you make money? Well, making money is not using die. So for instance, let's say this is my turn. Well, this evens this out so I don't get a damage, and I don't want to shoot, and maybe I don't want to turn. I would get 3, if I didn't want to roll these again, I could roll them 2 more times. Let's say I didn't. I could get those and get $300, right, like that. If let's say this was my roll, and I didn't need to fix my car, and I didn't need any of those, well, I could get $500 right there. And getting money is very important, because it's going to be at the end of the race, whoever has the most money will win. Now, you do get bonus money for finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, depending on the amount of players. It tells you on the back of the board. Last place always gets a one-way ticket to Alaska, meaning the boss is so disappointed in you, you didn't perform well during this road rage battle across this bridge, he's going to ship you to Alaska. basket. So last place is automatically out. But at least, and then the second to last doesn't usually get any money. But then you add up your money to see who got the most money. Anyway, every round you're redoing that. You're getting out 5 more tokens, putting them out in the next zone. And then of course you're choosing one of these weapons too. You can buy any of these at the top from bottom, $1, $2, $3, $4, or $500. Once someone buys one, everything shifts up and another one comes out. And then, you know, maybe someone buys this one too, and on their turn they can buy as much as they have money for, and these things will just keep coming out here. Now there's tons more in the game, but you're like, well, what do all those do? Well, you can always check the rule book, and the rule book tells you what each one, there's a lot of them, and like I said, the first couple of times you will have to check the rule book to see each one, but very simple. The rule book's very nice to explain that to you. What is a ramp? When you place the ramp down, you roll 1 die to move 3 spaces. If it's green, you're good. If it's anything else, you're still good. If it's black, you're gonna just suffer 1 damage, you know, because you landed kind of bad, but you still get to go 3 spaces. If you rolled that, then it's a failed roll. It's a -1, so you only go 2 spaces, and you landed really awkwardly, so you got 2 additional damage there. So that one is just really not good, but that's your luck there, unless you have some of these reroll tokens here. Once you use the ramp, that's it. If you slam into the ramp, it is going to hurt you. It does block shooters too, so sometimes you're getting shot by the police, you may want to just do a ramp, and that way they can't shoot you. So basically what you're doing is rolling this dice and optionally rolling them 3 times each, doing your action, purchasing extra tiles, and then after everyone goes, bringing out more obstacles for the next zone. After everyone finishes the race, you add up the most money, and that is the person who wins the game. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well, I saw this at an Ollie's discount store at my hometown, and I was like, ooh, this looks good. And then I saw the little CMON logo, and I put it straight back on the shelf. As you know, CMON stands for Cool Mini or Not, or in my opinion, when it comes to the game, crappy, mediocre, or not good. And I have played all the above there, with the exception of Project Elite. I really think that's a great game. But they didn't create that one, someone else did. They just reprinted it. This one is actually pretty good. I'm kind of surprised. I am surprised. I looked over, some of the reviews have been terrible for it, and I read over the rule book and went, it doesn't look that bad. Let me try it. Now, first off, the paper money is awful. Why do you overproduce a game but then go really cheap? I mean, awful on the money. Itty bitty pieces of paper, hard to pick up, easy to bend and tear. It's awful, awful, awful. One of the worst board game components I have ever seen. And I think, honestly, I think they just forgot about the money, and they went, oh no, we don't have time to put tokens together, so you know what? We're crappy. Let's go ahead and just give the crappiest little money we can think of. I mean, yeah, they wanted it flat so your car could go over, but it doesn't matter, because if there's a pile of $100 bills on there, it could be little tokens, and when you get there, you just take all the tokens. So it was just laziness from CMON. Other than that, though, I am shocked. I do like this game. Kind of shocked. I mean, it was only $10, and it looks very cool. And you play some 1920s music, and you got a great theme here. I love the theme, too. There's another game I have called Roadkill Rally. It's a fun game. One of my gaming group's favorite games to play, so I knew this would be a hit with them, and it was. Even my wife played it with me once and admitted that it was fun. So this is a good game. It's a good game. Not a great game, but a good game, which is really impressive, because this is besides Project Elite, this will be the second CMON game that will stay in my collection. I've gotten CMON games in the past, and I've thrown them away. Did I throw that one away? Either threw or gave it away, because they've really been crap. But that one is actually pretty good. So if you have an Ollie's and you see that there and it's only $10, then go ahead and pick it up. Because surprisingly, it is pretty good. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, you know what to do. Game on!